Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, back with some flea market finds. I recently was at a flea market and I was purchasing some used fishing reels, and I came upon a vendor there who had a tackle box, or a box full of tackle, and we started to have a conversation, and I wound up purchasing that as well. It was almost overlooked. It was in a big plastic, big cardboard box. You'll see it over here on the left, kind of waving at you there, and it was kind of hidden, and we kind of took it apart a little bit and realized there was some value in there, and so I went on to purchase it. Well, the first thing I got was just a Plano freshwater tackle box, and inside that is a whole bunch of hooks, some swivels, some connectors for sinkers, a few bobbers, basically saltwater tackle, and I'm sure that we'll be able to find a use for most of that. Just never know when you're going to need a hook, and there seems to be some plenty good hooks in there. But the thing that caught my eye in that whole piece was a very big fishing reel here. I believe this one is the Daiwa 900, which is a 9.0 size reel. You can see by the big harness on it, this is meant for very large fish. Sharking wouldn't be out of the question. Large tuna wouldn't be out of the question. This is just one massive reel. Normally you would have the tag on the side here. They would tell you that it is a Daiwa and it's a Sea-Line series, but what it is, I just don't know. But I'm thinking the 900H is what this reel is. I'm going to do some research on this one. I am going to rebuild this one. We are on the mid-Atlantic seaboard, and this reel is certainly appropriate for trolling for large fish, and this will stand up to just about anything. One of the things I did notice as I did a quick test on it is this click ratchet is almost always on. You can kind of move this along, but it doesn't have the full throw. You can see how it pops back. So there's something going on there with the spring, the click ratchet that holds that. And we'll certainly take care to work on that. But that's this one by itself was worth the cost of the box. And so we've got a couple of boxes here that are probably worth that just by themselves here. I have a box of saltwater lures, and I like the box. But another box of hooks that probably belongs somewhere else. But here's a whole group of relatively new tackle, and you can see that they haven't been abused too much. They're still pretty much dark, shiny, and reflective. Those of you that wonder about these big paddles, those will force the lures to dive deep, and something with a smaller lip will not go down as far as the bigger ones. This is what's called a broken back lure. I believe this one is a Rebel, I'm not quite sure. But Rapala maybe, Rapala minnow. That's a broken back. It swings independent. They're good. Not quite sure of this one. This one may be a creek chub. But you can also see that they're relatively unused because we don't have the rusting going on the hooks. There's a few. These are the older steel hooks. Here's one that's probably been fished a little bit more, so maybe I'll put that on a pole and see how it works. Another broken back swim. And this one's probably medium depth based on the lip. This is also a Rapala, and this one's a nice looking one. Probably want to replace the hooks on those. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 15, including a bomber that is still in the box. So about 15 of those. And if you evaluate what it is that you're going to do in terms of pay for a particular purchase, one of the things you want to look at is, what would you buy these news for? Well, new, these are going to go anywhere from about $7 to $15. I've got 15 of them here. So pick an average point of 10. Some of them aren't worth 10. They're all cloudy and foggy. But just pick an average of 10. That's $150 right there in fishing plugs. Now, again, setting a value, that reel paid for everything. This is all surplus. I got 2 of these umbrella rigs that came along with it. They're old. They haven't been used. The tube lures on these have pretty much dried out. Here's one back here. Maybe you can see a little bit better. They've lost their their flexibility. So to use these, you really need to replace the tube lures, but it's a functional piece. And so this gives me an idea right here. Now we're in the Mid-Atlantic. Here's a tag from a sporting goods store called Herman's. And Herman's was in the New York area, and that has to be out of business about 20 years now. I guess the other thing that would be indicative, it's this rig originally was selling for $7.59. You would certainly pay at least double that now for one of these rigs. So moving on, we have another box. Maybe that's the value in this collection, is the box. And this one has some mid-size saltwater. Again, a couple more of these Rapalas. It looks like here's a striper plug. There's about 6 or 7 of them in here, the Rapala minnows. Then we have the smaller ones, which will work in fresh. Here's a hula popper without its skirt. And a couple of the other ones here. Not quite sure what that one says. Here's a crocodile minnow. So there's enough here that certainly justified it. These soft baits I don't keep. They don't hold up well. They're just they generally need to be tossed. They dry out and lose their flexibility. I got a box of those. Another sack here. These Plano boxes by themselves are probably worth about $6. We have some sinkers in there and some hooks. Here's another Plano box, I think. Looks like it. I love these little boxes. These tackle wallets really become my go-to pieces when I go fishing, particularly when I go for the bay. I like to just put an assortment of gear in here. In this case, it's this one looks more like a trout box or a bass box than it does a bay box. But in the bays, we would have things like the shiners here, replicating minnows that you would find out there. And then this side of it, again, a couple of connectors. Looks like a few hooks here as well. They'll never go to waste. Some hardcore tackle. Got a couple of knives. Got a pliers that WD-40 will free right up. Have a set of fisherman's handyman pliers, I guess. It's got the knives and the plier as well, so that pocket pliers is always good for a tackle box. And we got one more bag in here. So it's interesting. I guess the lessons learned on this one is to try and have an understanding of what the box is worth on individual components, what you're going to use and what you may give away and what you may wind up selling, and then try to negotiate a price in between. Well, this one's interesting. This is the old Dacron line. So this spool has probably been around for 40 years and still got line on it, and made in the USA, so for sure. And you can see that the line comes all the way to the back here. So there's probably 1,000 yards of this line on there. This is good for folks that are restoring antique reels and want to stay with the traditional line that belongs on those reels when they were new. So I don't have a use for it, but I'll find somebody who does. Any of the monofilament lines that I find, here's some Penn 25-pound test. I don't keep that. I don't know the history behind that line. I'm sure it's old line, and I don't want to risk losing a fish to it. Here's another one. This is braided squidding line. So a fishing line or a fishing reel aficionado may be interested in this from a collectability standpoint. If you want to build an old tackle box of period correct stuff, then this works. And then this, whoa, this is leaded line. You don't find that around very much anymore. So the leaded line would go on the big trolling reels, and the leaded line enables the bait or the hooks to sink. It has the extra weight to it as it's going down, so it will sink faster and get to your target fish. This one's got mold on it, so it's been there a long time. So I'll probably package that in the squidding line and the Dacron line. I'll try and find somebody that can be true to the period that is interested in using that for their collection. And then there seems to be some sinkers in the bottom of this one as well. So all told, the box and everything was just north of $50 that we negotiated. I think I did well. You're going to see me rebuild this Daiwa 9.0 reel, a 9.0 size reel, probably the 900H again, as I'm thinking. I know it's in the C-Line series. And we'll bring this one back to life, clean up some of those plugs, probably use some of those personally, and try to find some collectors for the older stuff that I won't be using. So I hope you've enjoyed the preview, and I hope you've got a couple of lessons here about looking in unusual places. This one was not right on top of the table they were selling. It was kind of off to the side, and it was buried by that green tackle box, which kind of made it invisible to many of the people that are buying, particularly if they were looking for reels. And my luck, my fortune. All right, so please, if you want to see me work on these reels, subscribe to my channel, and if you do subscribe, hit that notification button. If you have a question on these reels or any reels, or even how to shop for flea markets and the like, and you're looking for some tips, or if you have a question regarding the repair or the maintenance of a particular reel, leave them in the comment section. I will be happy to try and respond to you if I know the answer. And then finally, if you have a reel that needs to be serviced or repaired, well, I work on those too, and I do it by mail, so contact me by email on the business card that follows. I'll be happy to provide you with that repair information. So thank you to our first responders. Everybody, please stay safe during the pandemic. Please stay well, stay watching, stay fishing, and have a great day. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle.